You know, folks, the whole world is talking about Bitcoin. Want to know why? Maybe it's because Bitcoin rose in value over 150% last year, and this is just the beginning. Bitcoin is online investing that anyone can do. Visit bitcoinuniversity.org today. Take a master class. Download the Book of Bitcoin and take your investment portfolio to the next level. Visit bitcoinuniversity.org and discover all that a Bitcoin can do for you. That's bitcoinuniversity.org, bitcoinuniversity.org.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories. It's Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC.
And joining us now here on Katz and Cosby is Professor John Yoo. He is the Emanuel S. Heller Professor of Law at the University of California in Berkeley. Professor Yoo, boy, oh boy, where do we start? Let's start with all of these legal cases against President Trump. Your thoughts?
I think President Trump is going to win all of them. If you'd asked me, I think you did 2 years ago, I don't think I would have said that. But his campaign against lawfare has been an incredible success. Take the most serious charges. And I'm not one of those people who says, oh, the president can never be investigated no matter what he does. But take, the severe cases, I think he could. But these cases were so ginned up and were so mistaken and were not serious, and Donald Trump defeated all of them. So take, for example, the most serious one, the two special counsel investigations by Jack Smith for January 6th. We've gone over in the show all the problems with these cases. But Donald Trump went to the Supreme Court, won a case finding that he has presidential immunity for his actions when he was president. They're taken in his official duties. He's won the election. He's now the president. You could say, in a way, the American people were the jury, and the American people rendered their verdict on whether President Trump was responsible for January 6th. And I think they said no.
Yeah, they said no. And by the way, did you see Jack Smith today as saying that he's planning to resign soon? I mean, obviously, the writing's on the wall, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Trump has the power. The president has the power to fire Jack Smith. And so he should resign immediately, because he's going to get fired by. In fact, I always thought the best thing President Biden could have done, right? President Biden, who welcomed Donald Trump into the Oval Office today, said congratulations, and he should have said, and I'm firing Jack Smith. That would have been a great way to start the healing process that we need to have after the abuse of the legal system, the abuse of prosecution to interfere in our elections. So Jack Smith, that whole thing thrown out the window. No prosecution is going to be brought. Maybe Jack Smith issues a report of what he's found. But as far as I can tell, he added nothing new to anything we didn't learn from the congressional committee. The other major case.
You're in California. You live there. I could not understand how your governor, Governor Newsom, said that you're not allowed to ask any voter for their IDs or anything like that. What's the feeling of what's going on in California?
I think people in California are in shock, and they should be in shock. They are in shock because they can't believe that the rest of the country sees California as becoming a failed state. Take, for example, the policy you just talked about. You're not allowed to ask for IDs when people vote in California. It's incredible. California also has a law, right, saying that school teachers can conceal from their parents whether their kids want to be transgender. You could just go on and on. The high tax rates, the overregulation, the terrible crime.
Well, what happened is, Professor, is the President Trump said, let's make it too big of a win for anybody to rig. And I think that's what happened. And the other interesting thing is that the only states that Kamala Harris won are the ones that don't require voter ID.
Yeah, look, this is all. Look, she also. I wouldn't say she lost California, but you look, even the voters of California are sick and tired of her, sick and tired of Gavin Newsom and this failed liberal progressive approach to governance. Out here where I live, the mayor of Oakland was just recalled. The district attorney out here was just recalled. The mayor had just lost to someone whose only campaign pledge was, "I'm going to make the streets safe again."
And by the way, thank God DA George Gascon, who was like the softest on crime DA in the country, Professor Yu, he also got the boot. By the way, before we let you go, Professor John Yu, this is stunning about FEMA. This FEMA worker who now has come out, she got fired because she was saying she skipped over the Trump homes. These were people in dire need during the hurricanes. And now she's coming out in interviews saying that this was, kind of common practice. This wasn't a one-off. What needs to be done and what can be done legally, not just to her, but to if there's others? This is really scary.
I completely agree, Rita. And I think Kristi Noem, upon taking office, or as a secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, should launch an investigation, find out everyone who was involved in the policy, and they should all be fired. It's a violation of federal law, and they should be also investigated for criminal violations. You can't condition whether the government helps you or not based on your politics. Just like we would say you're not allowed to hire people for the civil service, whether Republican or Democrat. I mean, under this theory that this employee was pursuing, you could say only Democrats get Social Security checks, I suppose. This is a terrible cancer within our government that people
and how do you make the recompense also, Professor, to the people who lost everything, who were in dire need, and they got passed over? Remember, at first they're, it's a conspiracy that Trump people. How do you make up for that huge loss at their dire need?
That's a great point. I should have thought of that first. Is that first thing, even before you investigate and fire all the employees, is that you go out to those people and you make sure that the federal government supports them financially, helps them rebuild their houses, rebuild their lives after they were passed over by these terrible, terrible government employees.
Yeah, absolutely. There is so much to get into. John Yu, we love having you here. Professor John Yu, you're terrific. And thank you so much for joining us here on Katz and Cosby.
Oh, thanks. Anytime. Please feel free to call me. It's going to be an exciting 4 years.
Yes. We saved America. Now it's time to save New York and Los Angeles.
Let's not get crazy now. There's some things beyond saving.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Janine Pirro here for Colonial Metals Group. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Pirro for your free Janine Pirro Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit, or call 800-965-8004. 800-965-8004 now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.